I'm Glenn Bowman. I'm Professor of Socio-Historical Anthropology at the University of Kent, and I'm the Director of Kent's new Liberal Arts program. Liberal Arts, in a sense, is a new program or a new set of programs in the United Kingdom, but actually it's something with a very, very long heritage, a long genealogy. Liberal arts in the classical period was precisely designed to teach citizens the skills and subjects they needed for full participation in the civic life of society. Clearly, over time, the kind of subjects and skills one needs to learn change. And with the Renaissance, moved into what we would now call a humanistic education. This developed in different ways in the United States and in Europe as we moved into the 19th and 20th century. In the United States, liberal arts was characterized by small colleges in which students would engage in interaction with themselves and their lecturers in small settings, small seminars, where discussion, debate, analysis was absolutely central to what was going on. However, what was also happening there is, insofar as the United States tends to have a four-year program in which the first year is effectively the equivalent of our A-level programs, the first year would be a program of wide interdisciplinary study, say across physics and mathematics and sciences and literature and philosophy. But after that, students would move into specialisms. They're majors and sometimes majors and minors. In other words, they would specialize in a particular discipline, maybe taking other courses at the same time, but largely building up their knowledge in a particular discipline. In Europe, liberal arts really moved into being a preparation for moving into university. As we can see with a course like the International Baccalaureate, what one got in that preparation is a wide range of knowledges and various kinds of movements towards focus, but quite wide. They would then move into specialisms in their universities and basically follow through with a much more discipline-focused kind of routine. One of the elements of a liberal arts education is that it is fundamentally Socratic. It depends on the idea that students are able to interact with each other, debate with their lecturers and co-students in close and relatively intimate situations. Those largely are seminar situations. We have a program in which our seminars are between 10 and 12 students and one visiting lecturer very often and one convener from the program that stays in the classroom throughout the lectures and the discussions that follow it. It gives the students a chance to really pick over, talk over, engage with the material rather than having to sit there in a larger classroom listening to one or two people talking and silencing them. We do ask students in their first year to live in a shared accommodation, i.e. everybody with their own rooms, really quite comfortable rooms, but with shared public spaces, kitchen and the like. And the reason for doing that is to make sure that students get to know each other on the course so that they're reading together, discussing together, studying together outside of class, and also very fundamentally, so that over the next 3 years, when they begin to disperse across other areas of study, they nonetheless come back and talk with each other about what they're doing. Those kinds of reconnections happen in modules like Connections, which is the second year module, in which students are brought together for basically directed reading across a range of disciplines, and in the final year, Landscapes of the Future, where we think about what kind of things one can do with our educations and our learnings in the contemporary world. So they do get those chances to talk with each other, but we also would like them to talk as friends or colleagues outside of the classroom. One of the obvious questions parents and students will ask about a new program like liberal arts, one that seems quite unfamiliar, is what can they do with it after they graduate? Actually, we're very confident that the kind of knowledges that we're providing for students make them, if anything, more qualified to work in the world, both of academia and outside academia, than much more standard discipline-based courses. They will be coming out with a foreign language, an ability to adapt to and live in another society, the knowledge of the different ways that humanities, social sciences, and hard sciences deal with facts, deal with analyses, deal with critiques. They will be very confident citizens of the world, in a sense, able to talk with pretty much everybody about the kind of things they're doing. We do assume that liberal arts would be a precursor of possibly a postgraduate course, and we will make sure as tutors that students are qualifying to move into the postgraduate fields that they want to move into in terms of what they take as modules, but also into just about every kind of professional area, because what employers want out of candidates for jobs is people who are able to think creatively, who are able to adapt to situations, who are well versed in a wide range of analysis and critical thinkings. They want, in other words, people who have made learning something quite fundamental to their previous careers so that they can continue to adapt themselves to what they need to do in the world today. And that kind of flexibility, that kind of engagement with the world, that kind of critical thinking is precisely what liberal arts intends to provide. Thank you very much.